Hello everyone and welcome to my review of this beautiful 2020 Subaru WRX Performance Package. I'm going to get into what that means here in just a second, but first I'd like to thank Subaru of Port Richey, Loki Subaru of Port Richey, for allowing me to take a drive and to review this beautiful car. If you ever get a chance to head over to SubaruofPortRichey.com and check out their inventory. They have fantastic deals across the board for every single vehicle that they sell. They're top quality people with no gimmicks, no pushy salespeople. They have an excellent service center with some great people. So first, I would like to first and foremost thank Subaru of Port Richey for allowing me to take a look at this beautiful car right here. So the first thing you might be asking is about what makes this car a performance package, and to be honest with you, I believe that this car actually closes the gap between the WRX and the STi for a few reasons, and I will get into those here in just a little bit. First, you should take a look around the car to see what this car has and what makes it really unique.
So first and foremost, probably one of the most important things is that this car has some really nice upgrades that really close the gap between the WRX and the STi. And the first thing you'll probably notice is these Brembo brakes right here. And even though these particular brakes are four piston calipers mounted to 13-inch rotors, which is very much standard for a lot of the older WRX or WRX STIs. The new WRX STi uses 6-piston calipers in the front and 2 pistons in the rear. These are kind of the outgoing versions of the Brembo brakes, but still a very capable brake. And that's, I think, one of the biggest differences between the WRX and the STi was that the WRX tended to use a 2-piston caliper in the front with a 10.5-inch rotor. These use 4-piston calipers in the front with a 13-inch rotor. So a huge difference in the braking capabilities that this car has. And one of the reasons why the STi was such a good car was you could late brake it and you could brake it over and over again without brake fade or without losing stopping power. And that's really what makes this car so special. Now, the wheels themselves are actually made by Anki or Anki wheels. They are 18-inch by 8.5 with a really nice Dunlop summer tire on it. Super grippy tire. Low profile, as you can see. Let's see, these tires are 245/40/18s on it, and that's all the way around. And on this red, it looks absolutely gorgeous with these wheels, but the wheels are actually pretty lightweight, and to be honest with you, they look really good on the car because a lot of cars, they tend to have these really ugly looking wheels on it, and most tuners will replace them with aftermarket wheels that actually look very similar to this anyways. So to me, this is a great idea for Subaru to throw these wheels on the car. They're made by Anki, and I think they look excellent on the car. And as you can see, even in the back, we've got 2-piston calipers in the back with, I believe that's a 10-inch rotor that's in the back, so it's got really good stopping power, as well as it's a vented rotor. So it's going to have some really good stopping power all the way around. And again, mounted with those 245 wide tires, it is absolutely fantastic. Now, this is a premium model, but one of the other outside aesthetic things that you might see with this particular car is that where the premium models usually come with a moonroof, this one does not come with a moonroof. The reason why they didn't come with a moonroof on it is because the WRX, in order to save some weight, as far as its performance package is concerned, in order to save weight, they needed to remove the moonroof on the car. So it makes a huge difference as far as the performance of the car is concerned and keeping the center of gravity really low on the car, which is something that Subaru has always been known for. So as far as the other aesthetics, there's really not much that is even more aesthetic to the car. It's got fog lamps on it.
Yeah, fog lamps up in the front, HID projector headlights on it. Overall, just a really good car.
But again, what really makes a huge difference is the interior of this car, and let's go check that out. Wow. That is all I can say about the interior of this car. The steering wheel is absolutely fantastic. I love the way that the steering wheel has felt, even since they came out with this car in 2015. But one of the biggest things that is with this car, and part of the performance package, has two real things on the inside of the car. And the first is these very noticeable Recaro designed seats. These have the Alcantara inserts right in the center of it, which are the same as what you get with the STIs. It's also got these leather bolsters right up the side that have red leather right around the outside of it to really make these seats pop. They are super supportive. They are super comfortable. Comparing these to, say, what my Mitsubishi Rally Art had, which was a set of Recaro racing seats in it from the Evo 10, these are a lot more comfortable. And dare I say it, I don't want to say they are fat boy friendly, but I would definitely say they're more for bigger people that can fit in. But that being said, I mean, you still get a lot of bolster on this, and this particular one does have a power driver adjustable seat, which is really, really nice. It's not really like a 10-way, but it's more like a 6-way power driver adjustable seat, so you can move it up and down, so on and so forth. Now, the other part of the performance package that is on this car is the gear shifter. Now, this car does have the STi short throw shifter from the factory, and as we go for a test drive, I'll take you on some of the mechanical bits of what I like and what I dislike about this particular shifter and how it works. So why don't we go and set everything up, and we'll take it for a test drive and see how it drives with the Brembo brakes and so on and so forth with this car. I think we're really going to love this thing. It really seems like a really awesome car. So stay tuned. So what we're going to do is actually fire this thing up, get everything set up, and we'll take it out for a drive. Ooh, smooth.
Alright, you guys, so we're going to take this thing out on a one-time test drive. And again, thank you so much to Subaru of Port Richey for allowing me to take this car on a nice little test drive here. Alright. The wonderful thing that I've always liked about this body style WRX is the FA20 motor. As we know, this thing has the FA20, it's a 2-liter double over a cam, twin-scroll turbocharged, intercooled, 4-cylinder engine, makes 268 horsepower, so on and so forth. It is mounted to a 6-speed manual transmission, which is entirely different from the STI 6-speed manual transmission. Kind of going on about this though, the shifter feels okay. Now, a lot of the driver aid controls that you get with the STI are not here. So like the SI drive, which really gives you the different driving dynamics that changes kind of the way that the engine performs and responds, is not there with this car. As well as the driver controlled center diff, this 6-speed manual transmission does not have the driver controlled center diff. So that is another thing that you don't get. So, but other than that, as far as the brakes are concerned, just stopping right there felt really, really good. I mean, I actually really enjoyed just hitting the brakes right there, super responsive. but it gives you that positive feel when you hit the brake that it's going to stop. So that is one of my favorite things about this so far, is exactly that. The summer performance tires on here make the steering response really, really good. You can tell it there's a ton of grip with these tires. That being said, the steering itself, not as tight as the STi. As you know, I've done the review of the 2017 STi, ironically enough, same color as this. I've done the 2017 STi, and the steering response on this is not as good as the STi. And I'm sure it has to do with the steering rack ratio. This particular car, the WRX, is built to be more daily driver friendly, where the STi has a closer ratio to the steering rack, which makes it a little bit less daily driver friendly. But that being said, it still feels really good. It feels like it has a ton of grip. As part of the performance package is really the brakes and the shifter itself. Other than that, the actual suspension hasn't changed from the WRX. The sway bars are still the same. The dampening, the springs are all still the same. That being said, it still feels really good. It still feels really performance oriented. I'll be honest, kind of a little stiff, but I'm also comparing it to, like, say, a basic Impreza. Now, my WRX, this definitely rides better than my WRX, but I also have an upgraded suspension on that car, so I can't compare it to my WRX, but what I can compare is the transmission. So comparing this transmission, the WRX transmission, to the STi transmission, I feel like, as far as its shifting is concerned, it does feel better. It feels more friendly to drive, but that being said, this is a cable type transmission. It's not a linear linkage transmission that the STi has. So the STi, you kind of feel like it's more clunky, but in a way that's a good feeling because it feels more confident than maybe what you would get out of this. But otherwise, I mean, the shifting feels good. It's a little long than what I'm used to. Even though this has an STi short throw shifter on it, the STi transmission with its shifter is definitely shorter than this. The throws are like night and day different. Even going back into your second, fourth, and sixth gears are like so much shorter on the STi transmission as far as the throws are concerned than on this. But like I said, daily driver friendly, kind of have to respect that. The seats are super comfortable. One of the things that I like is that this car has progressed a little bit over time. Favorite thing is that FA motor with the twin full turbo. Turbo comes on so quick that it's so much more daily driver friendly. You can get into that torque at such a low RPM. You're not waiting for the turbo to spool up like you are on like my WRX. I'm behind a cross track, which can't handle as good as this. But the steering wheel feels absolutely fantastic. The seats are surprisingly comfortable. That's what gets me. Surprisingly comfortable the seats are. So, but the brakes feel fantastic. I mean, that is probably the biggest thing. It really closes the gap. As far as the power is concerned, you know, this FA motor, we all know what it's capable of. With some minor tuning, some very basic things, it's going to be a very capable engine. So that's really not a concern. Some of the things that I love about Subaru is they've progressively gotten better, but I'll be honest, the interior on these cars, I can't wait for the next generation version of the WRX to come out, because you can already tell with a lot of this, it's dated. I mean, this is a 2020 model. It's been out for 5 years. It's rather dated, but at the same time, comparing it to my WRX, This is so much better quality. I mean, you actually have leather door inserts with red stitching right here, which is really, really cool. The seats are so much more comfortable. The steering wheel feels like a performance steering wheel. I mean, everything on the interior has soft dash material. There are still a lot of plastic bits in here, but overall, it's actually a really good quality vehicle. Really not wanting to get on, but I'm going to. Oh, yeah. Feels like it takes a little bit longer to throw these gears. Oh yeah, 60 miles an hour right there. Oh yeah. Those Brembos make such a huge difference on this car. Oh my goodness, does it make a huge difference on this car. I'm gonna pull on the wrist right here. A little bit more fun. The grip. Yes, the grip. Oh, a lot better than my car. And again, the amount of torque when you immediately come off is just awesome. I don't know if Subaru did an upgrade or an update to their tuning, the factory tuning of this thing, but it feels a lot better. I've driven one of these before, and I don't know if they did this over the past couple of years, but man, this car feels a lot better as far as its like engine dynamics are concerned. That's good. Really, really good. A lot of grip on this one. Oh yeah. Excuse me for my feels so good. I really like this. I really, really do. Alright, so here we go. Here we go for a beautiful drive here. Now, I don't know if you can, when I look here, you can kind of see that the gear exchange it's a short throw shifter, but man, it just doesn't feel like really short and slow. Honestly, it doesn't. Alright. Pretty good. Kind of backward here to go have a little bit of fun with. Now the throttle response on this is a little bit more sluggish than my car, but my car also has a close in on it, so that can make a huge difference as well. I'm not going to go too fast with this car because it's not mine, but just to give you an idea, the performance package on this car only costs an extra $2,800 on the car. Now this car is sold, but they had it listed at just over $31,000 for this particular car. So it's a premium model with the performance package on it. And I will say that it's really a good car and for the deal. Now to give you an idea here, so this is $31,008 something that they have this listed for. The STi goes for almost $37,000. So there's about a $5,000 difference between a performance pack premium version and a base model STi. It's really up to you on whether you feel that the STi is absolutely worth the extra $5,000. Because when you think about it, it's the extra $5,000, in all honesty, that you're really paying for the transmission. I know the STi has 6 piston calipers in the front and 2 pistons in the rear, and I'm sure the dampening is different. They've got bigger spin bars on it, so on and so forth, but is it really worth the $5,000 upgrade to go with an STi for the big wing on the back, when this gives you almost damn near performance, especially with the Brembo brakes, which makes a huge, huge difference. So you can late brake into the corners. Like, here we go, about 40 miles an hour. Slow down a little bit. But you can see, I mean, it's got this performance. You can brake it hard in the corner and the car takes it. That's what I mean. It's like this car is just, it fills that gap, and the body roll is really not that bad, even considering the STi that I've test driven in the past. The body roll is really not that bad. I love the response to the turbocharger. I think that makes a huge difference. So it's really, in the end, it's kind of up to the end user on whether you want to spend the extra money, spend the extra $5-6 grand, and get the STi, or get a WRX with the performance package. You get the same seats that the STi has. You get the same seats. You get an STi short throw shifter. You get Brembo brakes on this car. I mean, really the only upgrade is to have SI drive, which, okay, that's also an EJ engine. This is an FA motor. It's a completely different engine. So you get SI drive, but you also get the DCCD driver control center diff, which the STi does have a much better transmission. It's a lot stronger. It's capable of handling more power and more torque. I will fully admit that. But do I absolutely feel that it's worth the $5,000 upgrade to this car? I don't know. I really don't. I know what it's like owning an STi transmission, and I can't say whether I feel like it would be worth the $5,000 upgrade just for a transmission. Realistically, just for a transmission. Oh man, the grip on this is so good. Again, I think the steering rack ratio, I think is different, so you might pay a little bit more for that as well. The steering rack ratio is better, and transmission. And otherwise, it's really worth it. I just don't feel that experience. Just fun. And again, if you get a chance, go ahead, head on over to Subaru of Port Richey. If you live in Florida, head over to Subaru of Port Richey, or visit their website in the link below and check out their inventory. It changes all the time, but I can tell you, you guys are fantastic. Excellent customer service, excellent service center. These guys are just phenomenal. They're getting a brand new building. I will be doing a video on that during the grand opening of it, kind of do a walkthrough, all that kind of stuff. They're getting a brand new state-of-the-art showroom here at Subaru of Port Richey. I'm really excited for it. I've been coming to these guys for years since I had my first WRX. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please, again, like, subscribe, share, leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think. I really think that this fills the void between the WRX and the STi as far as performance is concerned. So we're going to leave it at that. Obviously, we got the next gen WRX that should be coming out. Hopefully, at least we'll get some ideas on what's going on with that pretty soon, and we just kind of go from there. But at least for the time being, we have something that at least makes the WRX a little bit more performance rather than staying stagnant after many years. So again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and as always, enjoy the drive.